Hey everybody, this is fantastic. I lost my other recording of this, so I'm going to have to do this again. So I'm going to keep it a little bit more brief than last time. Last one was about 20 minutes. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about whether Wizards of the Coast is pushing white supremacist agendas. Yes, I did not think I would have to make a video like this, especially my first video, my first real video on this channel. It's not a re-up from my other channel. Anyway, so last night I was browsing on Twitter and Wizards of the Coast was trending. I'm a big D&D player, huge D&D player, lots of tabletop RPGs, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of books of tabletop RPGs. So I've been doing it for about 22 years now. Came in with 3.0. But anyway, Wizards of the Coast was trending. And the reason they were trending is because Spelljammer has come out, and Spelljammer has a particular group of people that enjoy being enslaved. And in this day and age, what do you think happened? Yeah, they did not take kindly to that. And I replied with my reply, which I'll tell you about in a second. But I got called a white supremacist because I said it was okay. And why is it okay to have a race that enjoys being enslaved? It's not. But you have to have some sort of conflict, right? Like you do. It's not that fucking difficult to imagine a completely different species in a completely different part of the universe or galaxy or whatever has a completely different culture than your own, right? Right? Does that make sense? Do you understand me? Like, also, D&D has, I don't know, tyrants and villains, and people follow them that are dictators. They also have, like, I don't know, sacrificial offerings to, like, gods and stuff, right? And if that's your culture, perhaps like the person thinks it's an honor to get sacrificed. Obviously, don't do that. Obviously, it's bad, but you need something to gather that conflict. And I said there could be a lot of very, very interesting narrative value to coming into contact with a enslaved race or species that likes enslavement. And then somebody, obviously, I got, oh, well, what possible good could ever come out of that? They're like, oh, gotcha. Fuck you. We're gonna expose you for peddling that shit. No, you fucking idiots. If you believe that Wizards of the Coast is trying to peddle this white supremacist bullshit, you are just in so much fucking denial. It's not even funny. But anyway, so I tell them, yeah, there's a ton of narrative value in this. You know what? Star Trek, and even more recently the Orville, deals with this shit all the time. Sci-fi deals with this stuff all the fucking time. This moral dilemma stuff. It's not a new thing, and they make for really, really powerful narratives of change and growth and spreading your culture to other places and things like that. So for instance, before I, go into my rebuttal on, what could be so good about a race, people enjoy being enslaved, I'll get to that. But let's take the Orville. If you hadn't seen the Orville, it's Seth MacFarlane's really love letter to Star Trek. It's the best Star Trek out there right now. That's weird to say, but it is, right? So in the Orville, if you haven't seen it, minor spoilers, I'm not going to give anything away, like the endings to this stuff, but there's a quandary. There's a race that are called the Mocklins, which are kind of like the the Klingons, right? So that's kind of what they're modeled after, not necessarily completely. But anyway, the point is that's beside the point. The point is that the Mocklins are a single species, a single gendered species, male, right? So it turns out, again, minor spoilers, that females do exist. But whenever a female is born, the culture of the Moclan says that they have to get gender reassignment surgery. And if you want to go and watch those videos, they've done three videos tackling this storyline, 3 or 4 anyway. And it's very fascinating television, because the quandary is, do I force my culture on somebody else's culture? Right? Like, that's the thing. And of course, us being humans, or us wanting this freedom, we know that gender reassignment surgery is like fundamentally wrong. You know, you shouldn't force a person to be who they want to be. You know, and the Orville just fucking does it so well. They tackle this issue from all sides, right? So, how does that relate back to what I'm talking about, of this group of people or species that enjoys being enslaved? Well, my rebuttal, you know, when they ask me the gotcha question, like, oh, why is that good? My rebuttal is, well, there's so many narratives that you can go off to make incredibly, incredibly compelling stories. And they're like, oh, how could them peddling this white supremacist bullshit, or, you know, create a good story? Because they thought they had me. They thought, oh, it's like, oh, I got you, bitch, right? No, there's many different scenarios in which this can go. For instance, let's say the party, you know, in D&D, you and your friends make characters, and you go around doing different quests and stuff like that. It's just, if you played hopefully you've played a D&D or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's say the group, the party, comes into contact with one of these people that enjoys being enslaved, right? And the idea here is that maybe my answer to them is maybe the thought of freedom has never even been come across to them. Like, they've been enslaved their whole life. It's all that they know. The thought of freedom is not conceivable to them, right? And so it's very interesting. If your party goes down there, maybe they come into contact randomly with this person, or maybe your party themselves gets captured by the slavers, and your party is part of this slaving, you know, group, and you meet this person. Regardless how it happens, you can start talking to this guy and telling him about freedom, teaching him about freedom, you know, and you can have an incredibly compelling story with that, to see this NPC finally, like, open his eyes and realize, you know, and then you plot this breakout of being slaves, and you get away, you know, and then you have another person in your crew that is just learning about the universe for the first time, like the expansiveness of everything. Like, you're opening new ideas to them. That's a cultural exchange of ideas. That sounds like a pretty fucking cool campaign to me. I don't know. Is that white supremacy? Like, showing somebody else that there's a better way, you know? But if you take that aspect out of Spelljammer, or of whatever setting that you're in, if you go, you know, just go super far left, and, you know, say that they're peddling this and they need to walk it back, you're going to lose that narrative plot hook, and you're fucking over the game, and you're making the game a lesser game. You have to have conflict, right? So there's another scenario. Perhaps these people that are enslaved, that enjoy being enslaved, maybe their masters don't beat the shit out of them. Maybe they give them quarters, good quarters, and food and water and everything. And then you're like, well, you know, what's even that worth if they're not, you know, if they're not free? Like, nobody should live like that. And fair enough, absolutely. But if a person has grown up in this society. They were born into being a slave, and that's all they ever knew. But in this case, they understand what freedom is. Maybe these people are so fucking terrified of being free that they don't want it because they know that they would die. They don't know how to interact in the universe at large with other species and things like that. They have only ever known their life. And you know what? Westworld does that. Anyone watch Westworld? You know, Dolores? That's her big thing, right? They learn about freedom. They learn about this and that. You know, if you take away this enslavement thing, then you're never going to have that story. And you're going to be a shittier person for it, for taking away an incredibly amazing plot hook in an RPG, right? So, do I want this idea of slavers enjoy being enslaved? Fucking absolutely, because it can explore a bunch of different sides to a story, right? And I'm just gonna touch on this just barely, right? Because I wanted this to be about the slave thing, but there's also been the talk of evil races. And now we're seeing a big shift to races not being evil, which, again, I don't agree with. There should be evil races. And I'm not saying that it should be de facto evil amongst everything ever. No, nobody's saying that. Who the fuck is saying that, right? But when I think of an evil race, I think of the majority of the race, their culture and customs, and how they're ruled, right? So if we get... So an evil race is like orcs. You know, Lord of the Rings, right? Orcs are elves twisted by evil magic, by Morgoth. I believe it's Morgoth, or Sauron, or some... Whatever. They're elves twisted by evil magic. You know, when you get magic involved, yeah, you can think of anything. This whole race is evil. You know, or let's go into D&D, Dark Elves, right? Dark Elves are evil. But if you're going to take the stance that, oh, no race should be evil, you know, then you're going to get rid of, what, 30 years of Drizzt Do'Urden and his amazing journey of escaping his homeland to becoming something more than he is? I don't understand why people want to take this fountain of amazing experiences away and just slather this culture that we're experiencing today on this. Yeah, not all dark elves are evil. Fair enough, but the majority of them are, and you can say that and put that evil race moniker on them. For instance, in real life, I live in Texas. I live in the Bible Belt. Okay? I would say that the culture around me is very, very much religion and Christian, or very much religious and Christian. Myself, I went to Bible school. I did all that. My family works in churches and shit like that. I'm an atheist. I turned out to be an atheist, right? So I would say that the people and culture in Texas is incredibly religious. Are every single person of that religious? No, but the vast majority of them are, right? So there's your real world example. So yeah, no, the Dark Elves should not be good. They should not be ambiguous. They should be an evil race, right? Like, that's their customs. That's what they do. They're an evil race. So then you get really, really fucking amazing scenes of a particular Dark Elf that does go good. Or maybe you meet a Dark Elf and you show him that his way isn't the only way, right? I just... People can see that, and there's 40 fucking years of science fiction out there that deals exactly with this thing. But no, people are saying, oh, Wizard of the Coast is spreading white propaganda. No, they aren't. Do you really fucking think that the people that are working on D&D woke up one day and they're like, oh, Yeah, Nazis. Let's infiltrate the culture with Nazi propaganda and, you know, plant the seeds in people's mind that slaves enjoyed being slaves. No, you're so fucking stupid if you think that. You're so fucking ignorant if you think that people have this agenda. God damn. Some people are so paranoid that this is happening that, you know, it's like if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? You can't see past that. And it's so fucking frustrating that this is starting to get interwoven. You're taking away good plot hooks and narratives. And I think it's bullshit. I do. Sorry, this got me in a... The fact that I got called a white supremacist, like, really fucking pissed me off. So I had to make the video. Because it could not be farther from the truth. Like, I enjoy doing good things. I like being good to people. My life is a piece of fucking shit right now, right? So, you know, whenever people come to me, I want them to be as happy as they could possibly ever be. You know, I stream, shameless plug, every night for about 6 to 8 hours. I do that to make people happy, to make myself happy, right? Like, I have 40 subs. Not a lot of people are coming in there. Kudos to you if you do. But it's always a fun time in my stream. I try to have fun. I try to talk to people and everything, you know. Not everyone is out to get you. I promise. And don't be so fucking quick to the draw to say, oh, this person likes the fact that these slaves enjoy being enslaved. Let's call them white supremacist. If that's how you think, fine. Fucking do it. I'm never going to change your mind. But I don't know how to combat that other than making this video that nobody will ever see. So, with that said, I hate doing it. Like, comment, subscribe. I know I gotta play the YouTube game. I do. I don't want to, but I do. And I hate saying that. Anyway, join me in my streams. It's super fun. I do Super Metroid speedruns and react to videos and play all kinds of crazy shit and different games and stuff all night. It's very cool. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I think I've made my case of why there should be a race that enjoys enslavement. But I don't know, maybe I'm a white supremacist and I just don't know it. I don't know how that might be because of, you know, giving you examples of how you could meet these people and interact and show them the way of freedom. I don't know. I guess that makes me a white supremacist. No, I don't believe it does. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for watching this, and it's just about as long as the other video, so I'll catch y'all later. Bye.